Okay, and our last section here we're going to do today, our third of the three major business models, are corporations. Now, I mentioned in my last lecture that corporations are an entirely different beast. You can't even compare what a corporation is and does um, to a partnership or a sole proprietorship. We're talking about small business versus big business. We're talking about easy startup versus incredibly challenging, paperwork heavy, hire a bunch of lawyers and accountants. If you're a small corporation, um, kind of businesses, most corporations sell stock. Okay, this is this when we enter the world of the stock market. Like the richest corporations in the world are on the stock market. You can give money, you can invest in that corporation, you can then potentially make money if that corporation makes money. Famously, Tesla, right? Elon Musk, he had more money than he knew what to do with, literally, because his business wasn't even off the ground, but people had given a ton of cash for his idea of the Tesla car, which has become wildly successful. The guy has made, multi billions of dollars. During the last year of the pandemic, he made like 10, 20 billion dollars. It's unbelievable the amount of money that these corporations make. And um, he didn't start there. It's not like he was a nobody who just threw this idea together. He already had a name and stuff. But look, these are corporations, right? Your McDonald's, your you name it. If it's a big business and you see it on the stock market, it's a corporation. Um, and I want to stop here. Let me continue on, because at the end there's this weird kind of twist to corporations I want to get to. So let's talk about the advantages and the disadvantages of a corporation. Advantages would be that it's easy to get the money, start your business. We talked to Elon Musk, right? We said, how do you start a business like that? You get investors. You sell your stock publicly. People then can give you money, and you take that money and you expand your business. That's what it is, right? Like so you say at first it's easy to get that money to start up if you have a name or an idea like an Elon Musk. I mean, I can't just start a corporation. I can't be like, I want to do blank, and then I'm going to go public. Give me a stock. No one's going to give me that money. No one's going to buy my stock. That's ridiculous. Usually, oftentimes, start up as a proprietorship, and then eventually, like let's say In-N-Out, that's a family-owned business, right? If they wanted to, In-N-Out's a big enough name that they could become a corporation. They could put their stock on New York Stock Exchange. People would buy their stock. They would take that money and they would expand. They would build more In-N-Outs. I'm not sure if you're aware, but In-N-Out's kind of a California, Arizona, Nevada thing, right? It's not maybe Colorado. It's not nationwide. So if they wanted to, they could get a bunch of money. They could go and expand throughout America. They could go into Mexico and Canada and Europe and In-N-Outs everywhere. But they don't. Right? They're happy being a family-owned business. Maybe a partnership. I don't know. So that's an advantage, is you can get that money and then you can expand your business. And that's how a lot of corporations make their money. Let's say I make $10,000 a month at my In-N-Out on Topanga. Well, if I had 100 In-N-Outs, then I would make 10,000 times 100, make $1 million a month. Well, what if I had 1,000? 10 million. What if I had 10,000? $100 million a year, right? This is when you get into these massive amounts of money. Disadvantage, though, is that my stockholders get some of that profit. I don't get to keep all that money if I'm a corporation, where if I am a privately owned business, I do get to keep it all. Or if I'm partners, we share depending on the amount of the business we own. So yeah, you don't keep all your money. You also don't get full decision making. If you are a corporation, there's a board of directors who get to help make decisions. You could theoretically have your own business, right? And then they could fire you as a president of that business, and then they could take over the board of directors. Stockholders have a voice. Some big company or some big investor could come in and buy 50% of the stock, and then all of a sudden you lose your voice, right? They fire you, they take your idea, and you're left with nothing. So this is a disadvantage, right? Is that you don't get sole decision making, you don't get sole profit making. There's also this thing about double taxation, where if you're a corporation, they tax you once on your business, and then they tax you twice on your profits, right? So my business just got taxed. We have a corporate tax rate, I believe it's 22% or something. Although, if you ever look, right, like the richest companies in the world pay $0 in taxes. I think Amazon paid $0 in taxes last year, which is like, I mean, it's criminal, and it's because they own, they help the people write the tax code, right? When you have that much money, you're like, hey, Mr. Congressman, make it so I pay zero. And really, it's largely through investments in your company. It's not like it's criminal. I say that, I say it half jokingly, but it's like, hey, if you invest money in your business, you can use that as a write-off, and therefore you don't have to pay full taxes on it. And that's smart business. It is, right? Although many economists suggest if there was a 10% floor on taxes, like no matter what, you can't pay anything less than 10%. If you're a massive corporation, it would help our economy greatly. We're in this moment of great spending, but there's going to be a day of reckoning. Right? You can't just borrow until you explode, because you'll explode. But where was I? Yeah, the double taxation thing. So I get taxed on my corporation gets taxed, and then my personal money gets taxed, and I got double taxed. Right now, here's where I'm going to get weird with you, because it's weird and I don't get it, but I know about it. My brother is a private contractor. He works for the studios. He's a stage manager. He gets paid $1,000 a day to like work on Dr. Phil and manage the audience. Is there an audience nowadays? I don't even know what's going on there. He incorporated himself because he didn't like paying taxes. So he decided to make himself a corporation because his buddies at work told him that this was a way to pay less taxes, to incorporate yourself. So you get that lower tax rate, you get more write-offs. Every time he goes out to eat, he puts it on the card. He then writes the card off, calls it all business expense. My buddy Eldon is an actor. Okay, he's a very successful actor. He's been in dozens of movies, hundreds. And he also incorporated himself. Like, what does that mean? Well, what it means is that you pay less taxes, okay? But then you get double tax. I don't know how all that works. There's tricky maneuverings when it comes to corporations. And that's why I said this is where it gets weird, because I feel like I can't really explain it. I don't understand the tax code that well. But I know it's there. And I think it's important that you know it's there. Maybe one day you'll be a rich and famous actor or actress, or maybe you'll have a job. You're an independent contractor and you're a stage manager, whatever my brother does. The guy makes tons of cash. So much that he incorporated himself. So that's there. But on the basic level, what you're going to need to know from my class is stuff about going public, buying stock, shared decision making, shared profits, easy capital, easy way to raise money, this kind of stuff. The very basics that you see in the book, and like all that other stuff, just know it's there, and maybe one day it'll benefit you. It benefited people that were close to me.